A true entrepreneur is a diamond in motion. A diamond, as you know, is formed through heat, pressure, and change. And I believe this is the greatest opportunity for entrepreneurs to release their brilliance. Did you know that brilliance is your insight, it's your potential, it's your genius? In fact, in our recent research, we ask individuals, how do they define brilliance? And I would love for somebody to post this in the chat as I share with you what we found out from our research. Brilliance is your confidence, it's your creativity, it's your competence. And when you release your brilliance, you are different so that you can make a difference. If what you are doing and doing it like no one else, that means that you have tapped into your universal assignment. So when you say, Simon, true entrepreneurship is a diamond in motion, why is this important? Well, one of the things that I've discovered in my work over the last 20 plus years since leaving Disney is that your universal assignment sits at the intersection of your talent and gift and a problem in the world. Aristotle once said, where the needs of the world collide with your gift, your talent, or ability, therein lies your calling, or what I call your universal assignment. Your assignment can be broken down into what I would call this acronym called ASK. And ASK simply starts with, how do you ask? How do you seek? How do you knock? When I talk about ask, one of the most important questions you can ask yourself as an entrepreneur, what problem have you been created to solve? Because when you ask that question, you are practicing true AI, actual intelligence. And the moment you start to solve a problem, what you discover is that you are the solution that individuals have been waiting for. For me, this whole journey of finding my universal assignment really started when Disney sent me to Paris a number of years ago. And while I was there in Paris, I began to ask myself three questions. And these three questions are the foundation that I want to give you as you think about, how do I ask, what is that assignment? Question number one, what would I do if no one paid me to do it? Question number two, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? And question number three, which is from Howard Thurman, a philosopher. He said, don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive. Because what the world needs are people who come alive. So as entrepreneurs, true entrepreneurs, a diamond in motion, when you begin to ask those questions, then it leads you to begin to seek, where is the opportunity? And when you begin to seek the opportunity, you'll discover that you're in the right place at the right time. I'll never forget a number of years ago, in my business, which the business that I have been running for the last 20 plus years is to amplify brilliance in organizations and individuals so that they can lead well. So I had an opportunity, and I didn't know it was an opportunity because at first I didn't think that I could do it. And what I realized is when you are being invited to step into another dimension of possibility, you will come to a place where you are uncomfortable being comfortable. Frustration is the sign that it's time to shift gears and seek what is emerging. So the moment I said yes to this opportunity that I didn't think I was qualified for or I can get done, I said yes because someone opened a door. That opportunity absolutely changed the trajectory of my life and my business. What is the opportunity? It was a chance to create an online course with lynda.com, which was acquired by LinkedIn Learning, LinkedIn, which was acquired by Microsoft. And because of saying yes to that one opportunity almost 13 years ago, we've reached individuals in 100 countries, and the course has been translated into 8 different languages. All because when you are seeking to fulfill your universal assignment, sometimes you have to say yes in a no world. So asking, seeking, and knocking. Here's my challenge. What are 3 doors that you can knock on within the next 24 to 48 hours? Doors that will change what you are attempting to do. Because here's the deal. The doors that you don't knock on, somebody else is going to knock on those doors. So knocking on the door is not just something physical. Is it also something mentally that you need to look at new knowledge, new information? Never stop knocking to find what you need. If you read 1 book a month over the next 12 months in your core area of expertise as an entrepreneur, in 10 years, you would have read 120 books that would put you in the top 1% of the field. This according to Mark Victor Hansen. So what door are you knocking for who you become in the process? So number 1, what's that assignment? As an entrepreneur, are you fulfilling your assignment? Number 2, are you grounded in abundance? Abundance is not just pursuing material gain, but it is about intentional activity that makes the world a better place. When I talk about abundance, Africa young entrepreneurs, I am not saying sacrifice income over impact. It's not either or, it's yes and. Grounded in abundance is how do we make profit? So one of the things that I did in my business, I hired a financial therapist. And the first thing the financial therapist told me, she said, Simon, revenue is for show, profit is for flow. She said everybody in business is so focused on revenue, top line, but it's profit that makes the difference. And so there's a quote by Charles Jaffe that says, I became rich when I understood my spending. So spending is the key to building a profitable business that's tied to purpose. But here's the bigger question for you. When you look at your business, do you know your numbers? Do you understand your numbers? My financial therapist challenged me to look at my P&L, to look at my balance sheet, to look at my cash flow, and to adapt the behavior or taking profit off the top. She said, pay yourself first. When you pay yourself first, and she said, this doesn't take you away from your purpose. It allows you to understand that when you take profit off the top, you can even be more purposeful. Here's the other question I have for you when I talk about grounded in abundance. When you think about your business and your pricing and what you are taking to market, is there an opportunity where you give a little something extra for nothing? Let me give you an example. So in the movie Lion King, there's a scene where Rafiki holds up Simba, and Simba sneezes. Now, 99% of the movie-going audience didn't notice the sneeze. But if you were to ask any of the animators that created Lion King, you may remember that it took 100 animators to draw in the sneeze, because when Lion King first came out in the 90s, it was pre-Pixar. And when the animators are asked, what is the deal with the sneeze? Because most people didn't notice it. The animators would say they did it for the 1%. The 1% who saw that Disney went above and beyond by creating a little something extra for nothing. The sneeze in Lion King was something that people didn't see, but it's that difference of going the extra step that separates entrepreneurs from average entrepreneurs. So diamonds in the rough are looking at coming from a place of abundance instead of scarcity. If I tell a customer I'm going to do something on Wednesday, what if I have it ready on Monday? If I tell a customer that I am going to have something to them by 3 p.m. and I have it there by 2 p.m., that is plussing it up. That is something that I learned at Disney, plussing it up. That is the whole story of Lion King, plussing it up, going above and beyond. Because when you underpromise and overdeliver, not only do you come from a place of abundance, but your customers in what I would call this recommendation, referral, review economy, they become your unofficial marketing department because they saw that you as an entrepreneur, you operated in brilliance, and you decided to do something that they have never seen before. Totally uncommon. Simon, you're probably saying, Simon, how do I know how to tap into this abundance? Let me give you something practical to think about. When you look at your business, number one, what do customers say about your business? What do they feel? What do they think when they do business with you? And when you come from a place of abundance, do you have joy and a smile, and everybody that works with you, when they leave your presence, your diamond brilliance and genius rubs off on them? So how do people feel when they do business with you? Number two, why you? Why now? Because the moment you discover the why, you will come from a place of abundance to say and realize that an open hand is always full. It's not about what I can get. It's about what I give. And then number two, one of my mentors, Dennis Waitley, said to me, as you are moving ahead in life, who are you helping come from behind? So in the spirit of abundance, it is about ensuring that I am helping someone by giving them a hand up, not just a hand out. So this whole approach to releasing your brilliance is not just about your four and no more. It's about everyone that is connected to you. I came across some research from a university that says when you help someone else, the reward centers in our brain as if we have been on the receiving end of the person we just helped. And they call it the help's high. So in other words, when I look at my community, my society, and I begin to say, what is it that irks the fire out of me? What is it, and how do I find my inner Neo to begin to serve, not for what I get, but for who I become? And here's the interesting thing, and it's counterintuitive. When you serve with no strings attached, what you discover is what you put out into the universe. Experts call detached attention. Detached attention says when I serve with my head, my heart, my hands, serving from a spirit of making something better, my brilliance, confidence, creativity, competence rubs off on someone else, and they begin to discover hope within themselves. Could it be Africa young entrepreneurs? That hope stands for help one person every day. When we become individuals who begin to serve and create hope. We look at our business through the lens of ensuring that everyone knows that when we serve, when we do business in our communities, in our cities, in our states, in our countries, in our regions, we are going to leave something better. We're going to leave a deposit, and we're going to make sure that we mentor, that we coach, and we guide others. You're probably saying, okay, Simon, great. What are some practical things that we can do in the spirit of service and truly activating it? Number one, before your head hits the pillow tonight, I'd like for you to ask yourself, who did you serve today? How did you make a difference today? That's question number one. Number two, how did you grow today? Number three, what difference can you make tomorrow? By asking yourself and reflecting on these questions every single day, one of my mentors, John Maxwell, says, consistency compounds over time. So when I ask myself these three questions, I'm activating service by putting the mirror in front of myself to say, my brilliance is not about me, it's about we. And when I make it about we, together we understand the assignment, abundance, and activation as the genius to the world. So the reason you weren't born in the 18th century is because you weren't needed. You exist now in this century on the greatest continent in the world, Africa, or wherever you are in the world, because you are needed right now. I'll share this with you, and this week, everything that I want to make sure you take away. Gordon Dalby, in his book, Healing the Masculine Soul, tells the story of a guy that was having a reoccurring dream of a ferocious lion chasing him. And whenever he would have the dream, he would take off running. And one day he went to see a counselor, and the counselor says, the next time you have the dream, stop, face the lion, look the lion in the eye, and ask the lion, who are you? Why are you chasing me? So sure enough, a couple of weeks goes by, and this guy has this reoccurring dream of the ferocious lion chasing him. And he takes off running, but it dawns on him, and he remembered what the counselor said. He stops and he turns around, he faces the lion, Dan, and he looks the lion in the eye. The very thing you may be running from is the thing you are being invited to run to for who you become in the process. You are absolutely, positively brilliant. Why? Because Simon says so.